Hi guys, Roxanne here from Tiny Home Living. Well, I'm just going to do a really quick video just to update how Chris is doing. I was in Ontario, as you know. My mom passed away and I had to leave 3 days before his surgery to get his pacemaker. Now, at the last minute, they decided to put a defibrillator in with pacemaker capability. We kind of got blindsided by that, but we thought, oh well, same thing, you know, it's day surgery, no big deal, don't worry about it. Not sure really why they made that decision. So anyway, I was not feeling good about leaving Chris. I was really conflicted, feeling like I needed to be in two places at once. He urged me to go. You know, we've got good friends here to take care of him, get him to the hospital, all that sort of thing. Anyway, my biggest worry was that something would happen, not during the surgery really, but I mean there's always that chance, but the list that they give you was pretty scary. It was like this, and death. But I mean, they do that. They have to cover their bases, right? So anyway, my biggest worry was something happening while he's recovering. You know, he overdoes it or something like that. So anyway, my biggest fear was realized. I got a message that he had been shocked by the defibrillator. I was extremely worried because of his wording. He said I made it back to the house, which was upsetting in itself. So he must have, you know, been concerned about even getting to the house to the phone. He said it was like getting kicked in the chest. And so he called Bob right away, our neighbor, to come, and they called the emergency number. They told them to go to emergency, so he went into town. They transported him from our regional hospital to Royal Alex in Edmonton because they have more equipment, more testing, and the doctor that installed it was there. That sounds so funny, installed it. Installed equipment in the old guy. So anyway, he was kept overnight, which made me feel better that he was in good hands. At first they said they weren't sure why it shocked him. I don't know why they didn't know that, but later it came out. Chris phoned the number. I don't know what different number it was. I'm still trying to catch up. I'm so overwhelmed by everything I need to do and everything that's happened, and you know, I was so distracted by everything going on with Mom's service. My phone wasn't working for some reason other than when I was in my brother's house. So just, you know, I'm kind of frazzled and scattered. But anyway, he called the number a week or so after and got some information. I guess it's like my sleep apnea machine. They can monitor it remotely, and it's the same thing with these pieces of equipment they're installing in people. So they told him that his heart was over 200 beats a minute for 1 minute and 31 seconds. The pacemaker didn't adjust his heart or couldn't adjust his heart, so he was shocked. So that's concerning in itself. He was just standing with a hose watering the tree. That's all he was doing. Nothing strenuous. He wasn't overdoing it. So anyway, they also said they have readjusted it to 222 heartbeats a minute, but it will shock him after 15 or 17 seconds or something like that. So they're giving the pacemaker a shorter amount of time to fix it, but they also told him that there's a joke in the office that why bother, because if your heartbeat goes to 222, you're dead anyway. Not really the information I was wanting to hear, and I don't think really good information for him to hear. He's fine physically. It hasn't happened again, but emotionally, it's an issue. He's relaxing. He's starting to relax. You know, he mowed some grass and he's doing some little things. But he didn't want to have a shower. He didn't do anything until I got home from Ontario because he was so afraid of it happening again. and now that he knows what it feels like, he's extremely apprehensive and a lot of anxiety. So he won't drive. You know, he's just not doing a lot. I think he's getting better emotionally, feeling a little more comfortable, you know, now that I'm here in case anything happens. But yeah, very apprehensive about it happening again. So anyway, again, we're hoping for the best. Grateful that, you know, he's got this installed, that hopefully his heart will be if it's beating more normally, then it can heal better. They took him off one, no, they adjusted one medication. They took him off one before. So they adjusted one of his medications, and then again, it was, I guess, you know, it's really kind of a wait and see and hope for the best and pray a lot about him getting better and this thing working for him. So anyway, I just thought I'd do an update. You know, you got to keep moving, you got to keep doing stuff. There's lots to do. We got to get the meat birds butchered. We got food to harvest. Got to get some stuff in the freeze dryer, get some canning made. I didn't hardly get any canning done last year because we were working on the greenhouse, and then he got sick right away. This weird cough has stopped. Don't know why. Don't know where it came from. He was coughing months before the heart failure came into play, and I couldn't get any of the doctors to listen to anything about that. And I mean, he was coughing hard enough to blow blood vessels in his eyes and vomit. So it was really bad, and he coughing all the time, all night. And now it has stopped miraculously. So anyway, really hoping for you know, things to get better and to sort of, you know, catch up and just sort of feel a little more normal, get back to a little bit more normal routine. He's still needing to nap a lot. You know, his incision hasn't even healed yet, and I think it's just unfortunate that it shocked him. I honestly can't remember how many days. It was only days after it was put in that it shocked him. So yeah, just unfortunate that it happens so quickly, because I think it's really affected him psychologically. So, and of course, I'm not willing to go to the doctor and get put on anti-anxiety medication or anything like that. It's just a normal reaction to what has happened, and that's just part of life. You just have to deal with that kind of stuff. So we are dealing with it and looking to the future and hoping for things, his heart to heal and him to just get a little stronger and feel a little better and a little more confident. I do not like driving. I don't like doing all the driving. I'm one of those people that you put a windshield in front of me and I go to sleep. So me having to do all the driving is a challenge. I don't like it, but that's so minor compared to everything that's going on. But anyhow, I just thought I'd give everybody an update. I'm sure people have been wondering how the surgery went and everything else. The surgery went great. Afterward, not so much. But I'm back. We're sort of getting into a routine, and just hoping things are going to keep going that way. Hopefully I'll get back to getting more videos on actual content. So much canning to do. I really want to get more baking and canning done on the wood stove. So it would help us out a lot if you would share the channel, share the videos, give us a like, subscribe, and any comments, any prayers are welcome, and we will see you next time.